Man, B Miles coming to you live once again with another live stream. Mountain about with a good brother right here trying to make sure y'all can see us. Yeah, it's like a glare. What's going on, y'all? Okay. Yeah, what's going on with y'all family? Yeah, I'm actually here with a good brother. Yeah, been knowing this good brother for quite some time. We actually gonna be talking about we just out right now chilling out, ran into this good brother, just trying to make sure we have it to where it can stand. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's a good brother right here. It's your man B Miles. You know what I mean? Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Brother Donald, the Spirit Man.
Yes, sir. This is a really good brother. He's straight facts. Yeah, your man B Miles be back once again for real. What up, Twan? Mac, what's going on with you? Yeah, it's going to be a really good topic and stuff like that. We actually going to talk about, the Roda Osman situation, dealing with the brick lady. Then we actually going to talk about the whole protect black women scam. And then, of course, we also going to talk about how these modern women are out of control and stuff like that. And we actually going to be going like, back and forth with it. But of course, he's the guest right here. So what we're gonna do is, I'm saying, I'm gonna let the chat go ahead and fill up. Y'all come on in, y'all come on in inside of the chats. Y'all come on inside of the chat. Y'all greet one another. Y'all go ahead and get the lights up. This is definitely gonna be an amazing chat right here.
Hit up somebody.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a really good chat today. Like I said, I'm glad I got the brother right here today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we've been knowing each other for years and stuff like that. So, yeah, we definitely want to go in and get started. So, matter of fact, since we're here, and we've been having like a really good conversation talking about this, like
Off the record.
that's right, off the record conversation. And all of a sudden now we pretty much like going to be talking about. We was having a really good discussion about it, like like unrealistic expectations with a lot of the modern women and stuff like that. And then of course, just going back and forth upon it. Hey, Sharon Winter, what's going on? Y'all come on inside of the chat, family. Y'all come on in. So would you like to go ahead and start like he was like
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, once again, I'm Brother Donald, the Spirit Man. I used to last year host my own talk radio program on WFBR 1590 AM, Baltimore, and I talked about these kind of issues on the radio. Doesn't sit too well with a lot of our people because we don't want to take accountability for our actions. We don't want to take accountability for the problems that we're having with the generation, the younger generation that we have now. Why they so out of control, so lost? That is because we are lost and we have misguided them and misdirected them in so many ways. And it has to do basically, when we talk about here in Baltimore City and cities all across the country about youth crime, youth violence, one of the issues that never come up because there's always finger pointing, primarily by our black women, because they talk about that the fathers ain't in the home, um, and the fingers pointed towards black men. But the question is never asked: who raised them, and who raised them with black women? So black women are this modern day minded black women, and it goes excuse me, and it goes as far as age-wise, it goes across the board from the teen to someone in their mid-age in the 40s, all the way up into the 50s, 60s, and 70s, because we have a lot of these older women in their 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, dressing like these young women that we see we see on the streets, we see on TV, and it seems that that is the image that's being projected. So we have a lot of women who basically are complaining about the same men that they say they ain't no good black men, but you raised them. But you complaining about the men that you raised. You wonder why your families, your homes, and outside of society is in a rut right now, particularly when it comes down to our people. We don't want to address some issues that we have. We have a situation of, I wouldn't even say a community. I could say places where we reside, because there's no unity in the community. Because we are no longer a self-corrective people. And the problem is that we have these modern day thinking women, or modern day minded women that are looking for a traditional man that to provide and protect, as they say. And when they talk about protection, it means that cleaning up the messes that they make. When they talk about when they talk about providing, it's only monetary only, because there's no really deep look into what the person's character is, their standards, their values, or the principles that they live by. Most of this stuff right now is basically superficial, and they see things from the outside. And social media is they've damaged a lot of people because that's the imagery that's being projected of us as a people, and it goes all around the world, all around the planet. And black women today, and I'm not going to qualify that by saying not all, because when we are being talked about, we are all, as black men, we are all lumped into that. There's no addendum added to that to the saying of not all black men. So we see that, and we'll say that, we see all the same. We got these hyenas out here. Because when you look at hyena structure, it's family structure, the masculines are not in charge. Within the animal kingdom, this is about the only species that you know that's female dominated. And the females dominate the males and abuse them too. The males are low ranking. And the situation that we have now is that we have issues that we need to address. When we're talking about in Baltimore City and other cities throughout this country, where they talk about this rise in youth violence and youth crime, when they talk about that, they're basically talking about black males. They have gone back and forth over the last 30 years or more of how to prosecute these black males. Are we going to prosecute them as adults, or are we going to prosecute them as juveniles? At one point, the issue was we didn't want to put these black males under 18 years old or 21 years old in these adult male institutions because we know what takes place. They get taken advantage of. So so the pendulum has swung at one point, going towards putting underage males under legal age into adult institutions. Now, with the kicking, carjacking, and so-called black-on-black crime and murder, I call it so-called because basically the conditions and environments that we live under, we didn't create that situation, those conditions. We just victim to them to a great extent that we have abdicated our responsibility of doing what's necessary politically to basically change the environment which we are in right now. But at some point, we're going to have to address the issue in a straightforward kind of way. Politically, primary black politicians is not going to address the issue. The black ministers in the church are not going to address the issue because you got to look at these 80% of these churches, congregations are made up of black women. You ain't gonna miss with pastor's money, okay? You know, if you give that 10%. Black politicians are not going to address that issue because when you look at the locally, statewide, and particularly in Democratic-controlled cities, and also on a national level, when you look at the data, voting data over the last past three elections, you can see that black folks in general, and the black women in particular, have voted somewhere, particularly when Obama was running for president. Black women voted like 97%. Black men wasn't trailing too far behind in the 80s or upper 80s. And in every election since then, we have seen that as a community, we have voted no less than 80% male, female, black male, female for the Democratic Party. And we see, and our problem is politically is that we don't play politics. Our people don't do politics. Our people do voting. They go during election time, go get a vote, go to vote, get that sticker, and they're happy and boast that they done their so-called civil duty. But between that election and the next election, they haven't politically engaged, particularly to push the issues that would and policy that would bring about resources that we would need to basically to rebuild the communities in which we live. And basically all policy and resources in this country is basically directed towards black women, not black men and black boys. Because we listen to our sisters engage in these political roundtables, these political discussions, you hear nothing about black men and black boys. But all you hear basically is black girl magic, the independence of black women. You hear nothing, really no discussion of the black family, because they see themselves different. Because there's a saying that used to be, that brother, I believe that brother Malcolm said, peace be upon him, that we quote this statement, make this statement, or quote the statement, but not the full statement. They say that you cannot rise no higher than you can't raise no higher than the moral standard of your women. If your women are in the gutter, so are the men going to be in the gutter. And we find our women today in the gutter because black women run the home. Black women run the family. Now black women run in politics. And they are excluding black women because they're reaping all the benefits and they don't want to give up any of that power that they have. We see it. And we find ourselves in a situation that you know you're in trouble as a people. Anytime that you have a marriage rate of less than, that's 26% and going down. Anytime that you have a divorce rate over 60%, close to 70%, and 80% of divorces are filed by women. Black men are not walking away from these marriages and relationships. It's black women that's walking away for any reason. So we have to make critical kinds of changes of changing the divorce laws, of removing no-fault divorce, removing what's they call it, unreconcilable differences, because it's much more easier for folks to be able to get out of these relationships, these marriages, because I'm not happy. You know what I mean? And usually in these marital situations, the divorces, we know that the brothers lose out. And we have to make that kind of changes, and the effect that it's having on our families and our households. And this is why we have children, our youth out here running crazy and wild, because there's no discipline that's taking place. There's no balance between the male and the female energies within those homes and the environment. Matter of fact, we are the only group of people that our women are out here boastfully saying before the world, I don't need a man. So if you don't need us, then what obligation did we do that we had towards you?
That's a good question.
Because this is so rampant and so pervasive that a lot of brothers, a lot of older brothers like myself, in their 60s and moving on up, we can opt out. And we are opting out, and a lot of black men are opting out of basically of dealing with black women, period, because we don't want to deal with the drama and all the baggage that comes along. Because if we can't correct you, or we can't, if you're not following our leadership, then why should we be responsible and accountable for you? Because if you're not my wife, or a direct family member, and you out here espousing that you don't need us, I have no responsibility. I'm not your husband. If somebody kicking you here down the street, I should just go about my business. Because you cannot take in, if we can't hold you accountable, then that's a situation, that's a problem that then can't require of us to provide the protection and the so-called provision. And when when the women talk about provision, they only talk about resources. And it has created a generational dilemma for us, because for the last 60 years, as black men, we've been hearing from black women, it ain't shit. We heard from our mamas, our aunties, and women in general, it ain't shit. And they have said that. And our sons have heard that generation after generation from their mamas, their aunties, their girlfriends. You know how y'all do when y'all get together? Y'all talk about us. That what we're not doing, what we should be doing. But that has to be something that has to be reciprocated. And we just find ourselves in a situation now that we're the bottom of the totem pole in society. And we're not going to be able to turn this around until we have these kind of discussions and family discussions, because we can't say, it takes a village to raise a child. The damn village has been trampled over. It has been invaded. And we have to get away from these cliches. It takes a village to raise a child. We don't have what we would call a village. And the thing is that we have moved away from the values and standards that our grandmothers and great-grandmothers that grounded us in. Because I know you have a lot of women these days that do not want you to even call them ma'am.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They don't want you to call them ma'am.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
And that is because we've been brought up that way, that it was taboo to address an older adult, male or female. It doesn't matter how much older they were. It didn't matter what age they were. Because now you still, when we address some women, this and that, the other, we say yes ma'am. We say ma'am to them. But
some get mad at you.
yeah, because I have one consistently that's saying something to me about that, because she's saying I'm doing it deliberately. I'm saying, and try to explain to her, I'm not doing that deliberately. That's how I was brought up, and other people were brought up, that we do not address adults or older people by their first name.
Exactly.
That was something that's taboo. So the thing is that those traditions and values that we were brought up on is something that in this modern day mindset is something that is detestable. I'm not gonna cook and clean and do this. I'm not gonna be your slave. I'm not your mama. So the question becomes, that women always address us and ask us or present to us, what do you bring to the table? So when you ask them what do they bring to the table, I can cook, I can clean, this, that, the other one, that don't hold no damn water no more. Because all that stuff that you talk about you can do, we can outsource. We got the money, we can outsource it. We can hire somebody to clean up. We can hire somebody to cook. Sex ain't a problem, because you go out there and get yourself a hot prostitute. And not just that, sex is so available now. So there's no problem with that. And they say, well, you hear some women talk about, well, if black men don't get with black women, that would end the race. No, it doesn't. Because if I get with a European woman, an Asian woman, a Latina woman, or any other woman from any other place, any other country, if a child comes from out of that marriage or situationship or whatever kind, whatever these situationships now, the child will be classified as black. Okay, the child will be classified as black. So the race will continue. Because you can't say, well, we already an admixture of other folks anyway. That's thanks to slavery in this country, and we're gonna have some sit down family conversations, not just on family matters, but also on economics, because we are in a time now that's really changing in this country. That we're gonna have to really cut back on our spending, and we're gonna have to do some necessary things to basically to have something. To basically hold us over for a rainy day, because you got the upkick of COVID coming back up, and at the same time, you know, have the federal government kicking the can down the road as far as funding the government. So that means that if the COVID kicks up and they do a shutdown again, where are we going to find ourselves? For one, we don't have the economic resources. The average black family don't have, maybe I would say, access to $500 liquid in the bank or any place. We don't have the money. We cannot continue to exist living in survival mode. And this is where we find ourselves at. I tell folks, for one, we already know that Trump will be the next president. So if you're on your feelings, that's your problem. You know, because your feelings not going to get you free. And the thing of politics is concerned is that we done heard all the MSNBC and all the national media fear mongering and with the hate Trump rhetoric. But the bottom line comes down to it politically. We're gonna have to deal with whoever's in office, because the bottom line is that we need to make some changes to our families, and to our communities, and that takes resources. That takes policy, and our policy should be the left. We play the left, the right, and the middle. We're gonna deal with, and we're gonna take and get behind whoever's putting things on the table that's beneficial to us, specifically for us. And we got to get out of this thing of this people of color and this damn minority thing. Okay?
Thank you.
You know, because it's like in Baltimore City, they were talking about contracts is concerned. You know, and you get a set aside, 5 or 10%. If you over 60% of the population, then you should be in a majority and not a minority. And we have to deal with the issue of reparations in this country. As being descendants of American slavery. But it's not just reparations from America, it's from reparations from countries like Ghana, from Benin, from Nigeria, who basically were the major players in the transatlantic slave trade, or the European slave trade, because it wasn't Europeans going inland and capturing our folks and kidnapping our folks. It was folks looking just like us.
Real talk.
You know, so we're gonna have to address the issue of the Pan-Africanness of brothers and sisters here in this country, because we got other folks coming from these same countries that is eating off of us and feeding off of us. They don't associate with us. They got their own churches. And only time that they associate us when it's time to get to reap the benefits of what we have strived and we have struggled for, the laws that were put into place specifically for us as a people. I have an attitude.
Real talk.
Got my gander up.
Look, as a matter of fact, look at the girl Roda Osman. She over here making black American women look bad, and she's a black immigrant.
What position she hold?
No damn position. As a matter of fact, she was the one that got hit by that brick and gonna lie on black men talking about, I've been hit by a brick.
Yeah, see, they're playing on the sisterhood, the hyenas.
Thank you.
Okay?
I said that.
And the thing is that...
I said that.
And one of the things is that, and I'm gonna say this to the sisters, it ain't being, to cast aspersions upon you. But if you don't separate yourself from them hyenas,
thank you.
Or from them hoes,
thank you. I've been saying that.
We don't see no difference between you and them.
Thank you.
We see no difference between you and them. Y'all gonna have to start separating yourselves, and y'all gonna have to start checking them.
Didn't I say that? I told y'all that. Matter of fact, I need to cut you off.
Go ahead, brother.
And
Go
a matter
ahead,
of fact, I told y'all, that's why I tell sisters on my channel, I separate the good ones from the hoes.
You gotta show yourself.
You gotta show yourself.
Otherwise, we gonna look at you just because y'all hang with them.
Thank you.
You
Exactly.
hang with them. They in your family.
Speak. I got
And
nothing
a
to
lot of them
say.
your mamas.
Your sisters.
Because they the ones who trained you to be a hyena. Because those are the ones that told you to go to school, get a good education, get a career, so that a man, you don't need no man to take care of you. Always keep some money on the side, just in case. And always keep another man on the shelf, just in case your marital relationship doesn't work. And we seeing that play out because you look at the black divorce level, and you can see that the numbers that have increased is in the population of basically, I would say 50 on up. 45 on up. That these women are getting to this mid-age level, this and that and the other. They also just lost their damn minds. All they want, they social media, listening to Beyonce.
Oh, yes.
Listening to Cardi B.
Yes.
Listening to all these other women that's living a damn lie.
Yep.
Why? Because when they go home, they going home to husbands. all the single ladies. All the single ladies.
All the single ladies.
Okay? And if you go back and look at some video clips of Cardi B, you can see her in her big old mansion, in her big old kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
In her spacious kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And she's playing
her song.
Playing a song.
WAP.
When WAP, and let you know, when her daughter comes in the room,
she cut it off.
Automatically cut it off. But it's good for your child.
Right, good for yours. Speak, elder. Speak.
It's good for your child.
Speak.
You're gonna have to check that because we can't check y'all. We can't check you, nor can we correct you because y'all ain't listening to us because y'all don't believe that. Y'all don't see no value and worth in your men. So that means you see no value and worth in your sons. And it's a sad situation. It's a sad condition that we find ourselves in as a people, and it's going to change. It's going to change. We're going to change because we're going to stop dealing with you. That's why you got the passport bros. Those with the money going to places like no, I have, brother.
And you know what's so sad about that? Shahrazad Ali said that 30 years ago. She said if black women keep on going down this road, you're going to start to see black men go to other nations of women. And here's the thing, it ain't the fact that brothers don't want to date the sisters. That's the black man's first choice. It's his woman. That is his first choice is the black woman.
Because 80% of black men are married to black women. That's 80%.
80%.
It's not so. It's a situation that, and women don't, and the sisters don't have too much of a choice. Because really nobody else want them. I mean, you go with your white dudes, all white guys or European men, all they gonna do, they ain't gonna marry you, they smash you.
Tell them.
Serious. They clap them cheeks. You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna keep you. But we're not gonna be those that you're gonna disrespect and expect us to basically to, and y'all were gonna hold us to a standard of your grandmothers and your great grandmothers. Because first thing you hear somebody with them, I ain't gonna build no man. I ain't gonna build no man. I ain't gonna take care of no man. This and that. Y'all want a man that's up and running full package, $100,000 and over. And the average man in this country makes about under $50,000.
Yes,
somewhere 46 and under.
Right.
And but here it is, you got 2-3 babies. Not all the same daddies. And have no appreciation for that black man that have stepped in. That's helping you out to raise children that's not his. Not his responsibility. Matter of fact, they are a burden on him.
That's not an obligation, that is a choice.
That's a choice. It's a burden on them, a financial burden on them. And say, for instance, that if
the man's single and childless.
Let me see. The numbers is that over 60% of black I think about 63 to 64% of black men in this country are single and childless.
Damn.
I think it's almost about 60% of black men in this country are in the middle class.
The number went up.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
That's been a hidden fact, because when women talk about men, they but they tell you that the data don't matter. It's what happening in their lives and with themselves and their girlfriends. You see, and the reason why we have a lot of single female headed households is because it's not the fact that the men are walking away. A lot of situations, y'all run us off.
Pound, give me that.
And not just
That's
that.
right.
And not just
That's
that. A lot
right.
of these children that are born, they ain't born out of love, they born out of lust. And we have to face that fact.
Speaking of
reality. And it ticks me off, and sometimes I get have heated conversations. I get cut out. I start cussing. You say cursing, I say call cussing, because the lack of comprehension and accountability, and be able to accept their role or women's role in what is going on and what's going on taking place within our so-called communities. A lot of brothers, we will take accountability. And I see that a lot of brothers have changed, that we can communicate with each other. And that's what we're doing a lot more of, like me and the brother doing right now, because we see that we in sync as far as what's going on and happening around us, and seeing that we are the number one hated group in this country and the number one underserved group in this country. Because I said, when you listen to on the political in the political arena, on the city, state, and national level, you see that there's no policy basically geared towards black men. And folks, he had a problem with me because when Trump was in office, he was letting a lot of black men out of jail.
Yes, he was.
And when he was letting them out of jail, he was giving them wraparound services. He wasn't just letting them out and come back out here with nothing. They were providing housing for them and all those kind of things, and putting in place, trying to get them jobs, this and another. I tell you right now, you get mad all you want, get all in your feelings, but I don't care. Trump get in office, and he want to build that wall,
We with it.
I'm going down there to build that wall. Why? Because we had other issues in this country that we had to address. We have to address also how the Democratic Party under Obama and Joe Biden have this open border policy, and how this open border policy have displaced a lot of black men from out of the labor market.
Say it again.
When you take a ride up and down these streets, and construction works on the street, who do you see working? Who you see taking over the building trades? Who do you see taking over the businesses, or not taking over the businesses, but who controlling the businesses you spend your money in? Go to the filling stations. Who own them? Go to the 7-Elevens. Who own them? Go to some of the restaurants that you go in. I went into a Popeyes.
Yep.
That was owned by some our folks. Guess who they had working? In the back. It wasn't us. I stopped going in there. One damn chicken too damn high anyway. Cause you cook, you save the money by yourself, cook it at home, and that's what we need to start doing is doing home cooked meals and not doing fast foods and all those other kind of things, because basically our real issue is that we have no there's a lack of family among us, and that is the institutional foundation that we have that basically kept us in check. At one time we were a corrective people, because as a black male I couldn't come out my door and start swinging on a lamp pole or the street light pole without an adult coming and checking me and correcting me. First thing I ask you who you are, who's your peoples, and where you live. And if you live real close, back then, they could walk you home. And if you was mumbling something under your breath as they was walking you home, might have popped you inside your head. When they got to your door, if your brother or sister showed up, they tell you, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your parent. I want to talk to an adult. And once your mother, father, or adult came and they got to address the issue, they'll let you know, they'll let them know basically what you committed and what they said to you, and will mention to your mother, father that as you were walking home with them, they was mumbling something on the breath, you popped them outside the head. Okay, and they said they'll tell you thank you because there was that care and that was concern. We don't have that now. You can't take, if I see a young man doing X, Y, Z, this and that, the other, and I take a walk home, this and that, the other, I'm going to catch hell from his mama. Because she's out of order. That's why the child is out of order. Might get cursed out. Because all the child say, Ma, he's such and such and such, and she's gone the hell off. And all of a sudden now, I became my enemy. So there's some corrective things that we have to do, and basically, and a lot of it falls on our sisters because we can't talk to y'all because y'all ain't listening to us. Y'all gonna have to start talking to each other, and when you see something that's out of order, correct it if possible. I know it's difficult because those hyenas, they'll group up on you and give you the pushback because they don't want to change because society has given them so many benefits that I'm an independent black woman. So if you're so independent, why y'all want us? Why are you asking us for our resources? Why are you asking us for our services? Why you want us to do for you? And that's the dilemma that we find in a lot of us brothers. If you a brother that's in your purpose, on your mission, and you out there grinding this and that and the other, if you're looking to get married, better get a prenup. Better get a prenup. That's to protect your resources as you grow and develop economically. Because as Jamal Brown said, these hoes ain't low. And I'm talking about the weed minister. I'm talking about the baby mama minister.
Oh yeah.
The man got at least about 5, 6 children.
Oh yes.
So he want to sell weed now, so the so-called bring in the younger generation.
Oh yeah, Jamal Brown, yeah, his
So,
cool man.
and that's something that we're gonna have to address because if you're a church person, you're a Christian, this and that, the other one, and it's clear that he's going totally against what the book says, But I'm gonna let the brother talk. I can talk for hours. I can talk for days. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man, it's deep, man. I mean, wow, I'm just sitting here listening, man. Like, yeah, man, this is deep, man. Like, it's a hell of a lot.
We have a lot to deal with, and we have to overcome the fear of the unknown. We're afraid to step out these comfort zones. We're afraid to say what we know that's true, even to our mates and family members. It's not because we don't want to hurt nobody or feelings or this and that. Hurt their damn feelings. Not hurt their feelings. So we got to start breaking down people's hearts. Because we're going to have to tell the truth. Because we don't have a long time before this, to get our stuff together. Because I believe that we got no more than the year 2030. And that's about, what's that, about 6 years away. Because when we look at ourselves as a group of people, economically, the wealth that we have, the group wealth that we have, it's residing with folks my age, 65 and over. That's with the retirement, with the homes, the pensions, and this and that, and the other, on and on. The average person out here working paycheck to paycheck. And you need 2 incomes, damn near within the black community, you're going to need about 3 incomes within a household basically to make it.
Yep.
So, this I don't need a man thing, it ain't working, sis. It ain't working.
It's
You
not.
do need a man because right now you paying 100% of everything, and by yourself.
Even the lesbian women, they start to have trouble with other women.
Man, you know what the high divorce rate and the violence that is taking place with them.
Ooh, very high. 72% of the divorce rate amongst lesbians.
In a promiscuity off the hook.
72% divorce rate amongst lesbians right about now.
So if your sister don't want a man, you go on the other side. You want to, um, but it's something that we um, fear to address because the condemnation that you get when you address the issue of
My client from Chippingdale just showed up.
did something happen there? Or
It's not a notification.
Of the gentrification that you know my body, my choice. How folks can identify themselves as whatever they want to be. But bottom line, it comes down to damn biology. You were born male, you were born female. You can have in your mind a phantom mind that you want to be this, that, and the other, but reality kicks in, when you have to do certain things. Because you want to get a driver's license, it ain't gonna be, it's gonna be Sam, not damn Susie, okay? Okay? And other kind of situations, so and that's something that's being heavily promoted within our community, within our families, and politically being pushed around the world. Particularly a lot of the African countries are rejecting it, and that's not to express any kind of hatred or anything like that, because it's not the case. Because it's you're not a if, I ain't feeling it, you know what I mean? And I got no problem saying that I'm not feeling it because it's not something that's a natural. It's not something that's productive. Matter of fact, it's counterproductive because if male with male and female with female, then how are you going to reproduce ourselves? If we into this kind of thing. So, brother, I'm gonna back up for a minute. I'm gonna back up for a minute.
I'm in the zone. I'm just listening, man.
I mean, there's numerous topics that I could speak on, but we have to get our. We can't get our politics right because we don't have our families right. Because it's mama, grandmama, and all them other folks that's gonna pressure everybody else, to vote Democrat. And we seen what they done for the last year. And then you, because they're Democrat, you can't talk about them. Nobody talk about Joe Biden's history of being a racist, a white supremacist. That during 1995, 1996 when Clinton pushed the crime bill.
94.
94.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, he got up on the Senate floor and boasted and said that every crime bill that came down, his signature was on it.
Oh yes.
It was Joe, slow Joe damn Biden.
Tales from the crypt.
And that made it clear that if you don't go for him, you ain't black. And the sisters got to address the issue of this sisterhood.
Yes.
Because you have a vice president that's not African American. You can say, in the sense of the American mindset of race, she will be classified as a black woman. She's not a African. She doesn't have a history in slavery, of generational slavery in her family. Kamala Harris is Indian, East Indian, Jamaican. If you look at her, and you look at her father, you can see that her father might be Jamaican, but you can see that he's Indian, East Indian, and not just that. If you go and look up, when she was the Attorney General in California, she was locking up single black mothers with children.
Oh yes, she was.
with the media there and with the police. And there was one case of she arrested this one woman because her daughter was wasn't in school for over 200 something days. Come to find out that the daughter basically was in the hospital because the child had sickle cell. Not just also, she was ordered at one time to release a lot of black male prisoners from out of the California penal institution. She refused to do so.
Oh yeah.
Because she wanted her reason not to do so because they were using these inmates to fight the wildfires. When it came up, you go back up and look on the Breakfast Club with Kamala Harris. When she was asked about reparations and this and that and the other, she made it clear, I'm not going to do anything just for black people. This is the same woman that, when you look at her background and history, she's proud of what they call the Brahmin clan of folks in India. These are the folks that sits at the top of the pyramid, and they look down on everybody else under. And you look at her, that background, because when she was young, she used to fly back and forth from America to India. You know, to spend time. She comes from a wealthy family.
And she down with the Boule as well.
She's AKA.
Yes, she is.
This is how this works. Kamala and her mother lived in California up until she was 12 years old. She left her family, her mother and her sister, and left California and moved to Canada. They lived up in Canada all up to that time until she decided to come back to America to go to Howard University. Then she joined a black sorority because she's like Obama. She had political ambitions.
Yep.
And nobody likes him. And her and Joe Biden made it clear when they were running what their number one top agenda was. It wasn't the folks that put them in office. It wasn't your mamas and your grandmamas. It wasn't popping them. It wasn't you. They said at the top of their agenda was immigrants. Not just those coming across the border. Because at the same time that she said she wasn't doing anything, going to do anything just for black folks, when she was in the Senate, she was advocating and pushing policy, immigration policy for folks from India to come over here and take away them damn tech jobs y'all got. Okay?
Yep.
So, but on one end you got folks coming from Yemen, you got folks from Syria, you got folks coming from Afghanistan, you got folks coming from Libya, you got folks coming from Iraq, you got folks coming from Iran. That's the southern side. We're going across the sea, going across the ocean, because these are the countries that America have interfered with their internal governments as far as silent wars. And these were the folks that are so-called refugees that they opened the door to, and these were before this issue came up, way before the what was happening on the southern border. Because from the southern border, you got folks from African countries coming in, and you folks from other countries coming in, and most of the Africans, they use America as a pass-through to make their way up to Canada. And some of the other things that we have to address and put these in.
You go.
Yeah, some of the things that we're going to have to, issues that we're going to have to address as black men is concerned. We're going to have to become self-interest, and we're going to have to basically take and push and advocate policies that's basically that's beneficial to us, because we cannot have strong black families and strong black communities if we don't have men working.
That's right.
And because if the men is pushed down and pushed out of the labor market, automatically that's going to cause some issues within our family households, because if they can't being able to maintain and sustain their families, this and that and the other, they're going to be looked upon kind of differently and treated differently by their women and by our women, and that's an issue that we're going to have with each other and also within our households, with our mates or whatever kind of relationships that we have now. But now it's situationships. Basically, these relationships want to be non-committal, open kind of relationships, which is dangerous within itself because you don't know who somebody else is sleeping with. So you would have a lot of stuff passed around that may take you up out of here. So there's a lot of other concerns that we have to address as a people. But we first have to have those conversations and being able to cross that threshold because those conversations is going to be uncomfortable conversations. And I'm looking to come back on the radio on WFBR 1590 AM once again because the name of my program was Just Conversations. And the conversations we can have is those that are uncomfortable. So I'm shut up for a minute.
Nah, this is all good, Elder. Nah, it's all good. It's just, nah, this is some really good information, and this is a conversation that, we really need to have, because a lot of these conversations are not really, talked about, or a lot of times, whenever we want to talk about it, it always turns into like, but gender war, and see, that's one of the main things that we trying to address is that, we really trying to address, like, really crushing this gender war.
It's over. They losing. Anybody gets told them. Been telling them for a long period of time they losing. You see it. You see what's going on just with your celebrities. Just with the divorces, all that kind of stuff going on with your little celebrities and the issues that they have this and that because a lot of them put that out of there. But on the other hand, the so-called sisters with the good paying jobs, $100,000 and over and all of that kind of stuff. These wealthy women, this and that, the other. At one time, and still to this a large extent, now that when these divorces take place, the men usually get raided. They find themselves living on that mama couch at someplace or homeless for a lot of men, this and that, the other. But things are changing now because now these women that got these good jobs and boasting talking about I'm an independent black woman be crying the blues, singing the ladies sing the blues now. Why? Because in the divorces, their husbands are suing them. And their husbands are getting alimony because why? They have the greater income. So there's some other things that we need to change. We need to change the child support laws. That you will no longer lock these men up for not being child support. It's a debtor's crime they got that as. Because if this person is still locked up, they're still obligated to pay. And automatically, the children should automatically go with the mother. Because it should go to the parent that's able to take care, maintain themselves, and be able to maintain their child, and can provide a stable household. I got something, I'm going to say this, and I had planned on saying this when I come back on the radio, is that we're going to have to change the policy of social services and who receives it. Because when you add up the total of the health care, the housing, the check, the medical, and all the other services, you're talking about almost $80,000 a year. Let's change the policy of, in order to get social services, to get a check, to get food stamps, you got to be married. See, that cut down on us. That cut down on us. That cuts down on the single baby mama rate in this country. Then it also puts women in a position that they got to be very careful about who they sleep with, who they have a child with. See, some kind of situations, sometimes you just can't, it's a go along to get along. Sometimes you have to take and push some things that are in place that basically, forces people into a situation because we have this such a large number of out of wedlock births in this country. And the women are being incentivized to have more because the more children you have, the more you get a check. And there's other services being provided, but the bottom line is that when you look at the data and the research, it shows that particularly black boys do better in a two-parent household, but then also the statistics will show and the research will show that black boys do better when they with their father. And it's something that we have to deal with because right now we see what's happening right now that as a community we in group collapse and other people who just got here yesterday have superseding us and have surpassed us on so many other levels. But we the ones out there advocating for them, you know. Well, you know, God love everybody. God love everybody. Why you gonna be like that? Everybody have a chance this and that. Never. You know. We all immigrants.
No, we not. No, we not.
Who said that? Obama said that. We a nation of immigrants. He's a damn immigrant.
Yes.
He's not even African American.
Or Black American, whatever you want to call it.
He's Kenyan
Yep.
and white. Okay. And not just that. He came from a well-to-do family. Not just that. See, you never hear any talk about his the other man that his mother married when he was living in Indonesia. And when he was living in Indonesia, his stepfather, I'm trying to remember the name, was Soto. I think he was a part of head of a part of the Indonesian military or militia. He was wealthy, and he left Obama a great deal of money, trust fund. And because when Obama first came to America, he went into New York. Went into Chicago as a community organizer. He wasn't too well accepted by the black community. He saw him as an outsider. And when he just because before since he was a politically ambitious young man, he wanted to eventually run for office. But if you check his history, before Michelle, all he did was white women. He dated and married Michelle. That way he had an inroad within the black community because nobody would have voted for Obama with a white, with Becky, or Kern or one of them on his side, But his policies weren't geared to us because a lot of us find ourselves in a situation now within the black community while our homes are underwater because of all the bailed out the banks and not the homeowners. And during that period of time, we have seen the great home ownership rate of our people drop. And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Whatever city you living in, y'all know who buying them properties up. And Hispanics are going in there, Latinos are going in there. They're going in there with the whole crew. And they knocking them houses out in 30 days. And they put their own people in the money.
I've been telling people that,
y'all better start paying attention because we got to become people that self-interest. You got to put over you can't love everybody. You got to put your heart over put your hand over your heart, and do some things and make some serious changes as far as how we relate to other people, other groups of people. It's you gotta have a love for yourself.
That's right.
You gotta have a love for your children because they thinking generations ahead. We just trying to make it through this new year.
Right.
And a lot of us don't, and a lot of us ain't too sure of what's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
In our lives, So, we have to become group self-interest. People can, be mad at you, this and that, and the other, and you got to advocate for policies just for you.
That's right.
You're gonna have to in Baltimore City when it comes down to government to contracts and stuff like that, giving out this and that, and the other. That white woman and minority got to go. It has to go. It has to be erased out of that language because everyone else everyone gets to shoehorn themselves into benefits that were or laws and stuff like that were basically specifically targeted for you because of historic redlining when it comes to housing and total discrimination that we was locked out for such a long period of long period of time, and whenever we basically to get up on our feet, we always run into some setbacks. You know, and some of the stuff is a lot of the stuff is self-inflicted. Because they say you do better when you know better. Now we got folks that know better don't want to do damn better because they don't want to come out. We don't want to move out of those comfort zones that we're in. And I don't, make it give the impression that I'm just beating up on the sisters, but sisters, y'all run a community. Y'all can rock this world. Y'all can rock this planet. Y'all can turn this thing around.
Literally.
It's just with the attitude and the thinking. Because that's it. You run the homes, you run the neighborhood communities, you run in politics right now. And all we asking y'all to do, is to step down. Step down. Come on, walk with us. Let us step up there and let us do what we got to do. To basically change the total direction that we're moving in, because as I said, we ain't got too long left, because I said 2030 that as a group of people in this country dealing with group wealth, we don't own no businesses. As I said before, the wealth that we have is residing with the seniors and the elders. That's what the retirements, the 401ks, the pensions, the social security, the homes, that's where our wealth is.
They give my defense in white vans in the black community.
Yeah.
The illegals be doing that, snatching up a lot of our women and children.
Yeah.
Those illegals, they are human traffickers.
Yeah. See, the thing is that we can't no longer walk around with blinders on. And have a tunnel vision, because we got to see what's going on happening around us, and we have to open our minds up to other views and other perspectives. Don't let the women that's being paraded in front of your sisters as so-called professional women that's doing their thing, this, that, and the other one. That's the exception to the rule, because the average woman in this country. The average woman in this country basically is making around, I say tops, $35,000. And we just got so much that we have to address, and so much that we have to do in such a short period of time that and as black men, we didn't have those venues that the women have, because on national TV talk shows for Oprah, Jesse Ross, whatever name is, and all these other women programs, this and that, the other, it was black women or women expressing their point of views, and their perspectives, and bashing what the black man ain't doing, but we didn't have those venues. Now we do. We speaking our mind, and we saying what we need to say, and we expressing what our standards are. And the thing is that one thing that women and my sisters should keep in mind, that y'all control sex. We control relationships, and we control marriage. Y'all don't pick us. We make the choice to pick y'all. And sex is a power. And women are using it to their benefit. Basically, sex for sale in this country, and particularly within our communities. That folks are not tricking for crack no more. They tricking for a pack of Newports or Cools, because they cost more than crack these days. So and that's I don't know, it's kind of it can hurt your heart, you know what I mean? If you're a caring type, a sensitive type person, that you see this, and a lot of brothers find themselves isolated that have this kind of mindset, this kind of thinking, because you can't share it with everybody, because everybody don't see it the same way, or seeing what you seeing. So this is why conversations like we have them right now are so important because there's other brothers and sisters out there that have that same, see the same thing and holding the same type of sentiments that we want to see some serious drastic changes. In order for me to have those drastic changes, we're going to have to be honest with ourselves and for ourselves, and not just for ourselves, but those that are around us. If they want to hear it or not, you're gonna have to speak your truth, And if they can't, get with it, tell them, they can move around, And it comes down to marriages and relationships. That it shouldn't be so much stress and tension within our homes when we should be much more cooperative. Because the bottom line is that what we want to do is basically to maintain those homes and maintain the relationship, because that way you can build something. Something will be in place stable for the children that are around us. We have to become much more deeper thinkers, and we're gonna have to stop. We have to put these entertainers and a lot of entertainment to the side and make some other things more a greater priority. We got to get up out of these sports teams that we into. I mean, because I listen to some of the sisters talking about, I ain't cooking for my man, this, not the other, it's not like I ain't doing nothing, such and such and such and such. But damn, you be cooking the wings and the seafood and all that stuff for them damn football game parties you be having. Okay? I mean, we are into these teams that it comes down to a form of worship. And particularly in Baltimore and with the Baltimore Ravens, I ain't a Ravens fan, never been, never will be. Not just that, but look at the symbol of the team. It's a graveyard bird. It's a raven. They hang around cemeteries. And you wonder why there's no life in your community. Because what are you worshiping? It's worship. And I'll get into how the money that when they created the Maryland State Lottery and all the gambling and stuff, all the money supposed to be going to your children in your schools. Ain't seen none of it.
None.
Ain't seen none of it. You know what it went to? They'll build those two cathedrals that y'all have downtown. I'm talking about the old stadium and a Raven stadium. That's your money. But look at your neighborhood, your communities. You go over on the east side of Baltimore, where they boarded up, dilapidated homes that you see over there. You go to West Baltimore, we ain't got to go that far. All we got to do is go down Park Heights. All we got to do is cross Belvedere. Cross Belvedere and Park Heights, go down the Ricestown Road, and we start going all up and down them side streets, and you wouldn't believe it. I have over these 6,000 pictures that I've taken over years of the boarded up homes in Baltimore City, and I'm ready to go back and do the same thing again, to do an update, because even when you go over to East Baltimore, these dilapidated houses that would sell for maybe $10,000. The city have selling these homes now in bulk to contractors, to developers, and they doing blocks now. These same houses that dilapidated, a lot of them boarded up or not boarded up with windows with damn trees growing through them. Some of them don't have no back on them. These are the same homes that have been collapsing on the people over the last couple of years. That people walking down the sidewalk and stuff like that, and the homes are collapsing on them. These homes running about $10,000-$15,000 now that the city have been selling at the public auction to investors. I was just reading a story about over in East Baltimore. I think it's over near the penitentiary in the Johnson Square community. These homes are selling for $15,000. They're redoing them homes now. They're running $200,000 to $300,000. These are row homes, two-story row homes. In a poor black neighborhood. That's gentrification. So what happens is that when these folks take it by and redo that block, it raises the property values of the homes, other homes around it. With the property values going up, also go with the property taxes. our seniors and elders on fixed income that's living in those communities that left, that stayed there when all the other folks left during the 70s, during the white flight, 60s and 70s during the white flight. These folks stayed. These are our mamas and grandmamas. They're on fixed incomes. They can't afford that high property, the value of that property is going up. They're going to use the value of the property going up, but the taxes that are coming along with it. And if they can't pay those taxes, the city will sell their homes at the annual property tax auction for property taxes. Not just that, y'all still won't want to drill with the issue of them selling your homes over damn water bills. It's something I've been fighting in for the last since Kurt Smoke been in office, because he the one who started this scattered house demolition. When you go in a block, you go 3 doors up and there's an empty space there because they tore that house down. You go 6 more homes up, there's another opening where they tore a house down. And you go block to block and you see the same thing that they turned into dumps. You know, that folks been complaining about for the longest period of time in the city. But over in the Johnson Square community here in Baltimore City, they're doing some development. That's over near the penitentiary. And they doing blocks. And these homes were selling for, you can sell for about $10,000. These homes going for $200,000 to $300,000. And as I said, the seniors and elders can't afford it. On top of a lot of them spending damn near $60, $70, $80 dollars a day on these damn numbers. You see what a lot, bro? Okay. I'll be like, where do you get the money from? But yeah, so there's some kind of so there'll be some things that we're gonna have to deal with. And I appreciate you, brother, taking this opportunity to bring me on his platform so we could have this conversation, and hopefully we can have many more conversations. So when I get back on the air, I'm gonna return the favor to the brother and bring him on a radio program that we can have this discussion, because it's our time, brothers. It's our time to basically to stand up to take charge again of our lives and our families, of our communities. We're gonna take charge of the politics. Trump got something on the table for us. Okay, we can dance. But not just that, we're gonna have to advocate for him. We're gonna have to advocate to him.
That's right, yeah. That's right.
And come with an agenda. This is our agenda. You want to vote? This is our agenda. Yep. This is our platform. Can you get with that? If you can, we can dance. But the bottom line comes down to it that when it comes down to politics is an exchange.
Yep, and another thing as well, we're going to fight hard against illegal immigration.
Oh, most definitely. See, we're going to change that. We're going to have to change that policy, because Baltimore is a sanctuary city.
Yes, it is.
You go look at what's happening in places like Chicago. You look at what's going on happening in other cities. The people's in an uproar because these folks were and the Republicans made it clear years ago that they were going to start busting these folks up. But also look at the immigration policy in Mexico, because in the immigration policy in Mexico, Mexican citizens have the first right to jobs, and we're gonna have to change the policy so that we can get black men working, black men up on their feet again, so they can take care of themselves, we'll be able to take care of their families. I'm Brother Donald in the spirit, man. So I'm out. Oof. You alright, bro?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I'm in the zone, man. I'm just thinking.
Yes, sir.
Yep, so what we're going to do, fam, we're going to conclude this talk. It's been a really good talk, man. I mean, so much jewels, man. You had me like in the zone, just like thinking, man. That's why I was quiet, because I was like, dang.
See, I didn't get into the thing when the city wanted to launch the spy planes.
For real?
Oh, you know that?
Drop that on a real quick, Andy. That's going to be.
I'm trying to remember what year that was. It was a couple back years ago. The company was called Persistent Surveillance System. They were flying over Baltimore City doing Freddie Gray, 2015, bro. Doing the Freddie Gray thing. They was doing surveillance over Baltimore City. And what it is that these private companies, this is the technology they were using in Afghanistan and Iraq.
You talking about that blimp that we had a couple?
No, this wasn't a plane. This was a plane. No, this is a plane, airplane. You look in the Baltimore Sun and look up the articles, this and that, and the other. Baltimore Black Think Tank. It took us two and a half years to basically to kill that program that was being funneled by the Arnold Foundation. This is a white, wealthy investment banker. And they were financing this company to come into Baltimore, and they were using Baltimore as the test city. Because if you could take this, if they could get into Baltimore, they could take it national. What folks do is that when they want to run a program, they bring it to Baltimore because they know people kind of pass it. So the company is called Persistent Surveillance Systems. Persistence Surveillance Systems. It's a private company. And what they were doing was that they could get into Baltimore, that they could take it nationally. And what they could do was that they could, this plane could fly over and they could surveil you or watch you.
Persistent systems?
No.
Surveillance.
Persistent surveillance systems.
It's this damn phone.
And they wanted to take the country. They wanted to take this nationally to basically the so-called fight crime. But the only
Look at that. Yeah.
the only companies. The only people that they were surveilling or watching were black people. And they could watch you travel at you. They could watch you every place you went or were going to that particular day. You may show up as a dog spot.
Yeah, look at that Baltimore spy plane was invasion of citizen privacy.
Yes, sir. They could follow you. It was very, very invasive. That they could follow you every location you went to. You would show up as a blimp, but they would take and pick you up on the street cameras at Baltimore City. These other cities have all over the city. They'll pick you up on these surveillance cameras. Also, the city, Baltimore City Police have a partnership with private businesses at these stores and filling stations, this and that, so they can pick you up on those cameras. But what they came to find out is that when it comes down to facial recognition, that the facial recognition is a problem because it has there's a problem with identifying black folks. So there was a lot of we have to address that issue too, as far as in the criminal justice system is concerned, because they may have used a facial recognition system to indict and convict somebody, and it may be a wrongful conviction. So there's some other things that we have to look at, and we have to become much more knowledgeable. We have to research a lot more. So the brother didn't know. I've been knowing him all this, for the long period of time in Baltimore City, and he didn't know about the spy system. The surveillance that was going on and taking place, because they probably businesses they wanted to take this nationally. So Baltimore would have been a door opener, and it could have been used for other, these private companies, and who would it be available to? You couldn't. Now a lot of brothers and sisters, y'all couldn't be out there cheating no more, because lawyers could use this system. Other folks could use this system for different purposes of tracking and surveillance, but it has far-reaching implications that, and you can look at it after they went to Baltimore, they was going to other cities to do basically to try to present their services to those cities. So I know after this conversation is over, I know the brother's going to get into the phone on that spy kind of thing. Okay. And we had the city council hearings on it, and at that time, I'll give it to now Mayor Brandon Scott. Brandon Scott was with us all the whole time of basically fighting this. I'm a little disappointed in the brother because I had high hopes for him, but I seen that the brother has gone establishment, and there's some other things that we have to deal with when it comes down to the who's who and the power or shadow government in this city. The big players are. You're gonna have to deal with your law institutions, educational institutions, medical institutions, private interests, foundations, and your business community. That's where the real power is at. You know, because anytime you get a mayor, Catherine Pugh, who I think that was in, I can't recall what year that was in, but when she killed the $15 working wage bill, she was told by the Greater Baltimore Committee, that which is amalgamation of the business interests in the state of Maryland and the region of D.C., Virginia, surrounding areas. But I think the year before that, the Greater Baltimore Committee had killed, the business community had killed that same working wage bill on the state level. Because the excuse was that you couldn't have a 15 working wage category. They used it that you couldn't have a $15 working wage bill in Baltimore City, and it wasn't uniform throughout the state. That was the excuse that she gave. You know, but she gone now. She's gone now. What's the Holly, whatever books that she was.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We got a history of sisters politically and man, y'all ain't doing too damn well. I mean, we had what? 3 of them here in Baltimore City.
Sheila Dixon.
And the issue really wasn't no gift cards. It came down to developers.
Yeah, Stephanie Rawlins Blake.
American Next Top Model. Because she was known as the fashion mayor.
Yep.
And she used to get pissed with me all the time when I would come to the board investment meeting. That's the meeting that they have for the city spending board with the contracts and all that stuff given out. You know, I'll go to look and say something to this measure. She take a cup her, take a sip of whatever she's drinking in the cup and get up, roll out and walk away from it. And we have the women around this country now, these mayors, just disrespectful, out of order. Just finding themselves just abusive, you know. Just like I was going with some of these female mayors, black mayors around this country, and prosecutors, state attorneys and stuff.
Fannie Willis.
Woo! She going to jail.
Oh yeah.
Why do these women get married? A married woman, this and that. Why do you want to hit the streets? But she didn't hit the streets, but she was looking like for her boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't come up. It really was, the issue really didn't pop up until she was included in his wife's divorce filing. So,
yep, we're going to conclude there, family. So we had a really good conversation, family. I'm going to go ahead, so my phone is like getting low, but like I said, we appreciate y'all once again. I want to thank the brother to come up on here. Like I said, it's going to be another conversation sometime really soon. So my love once again, family. Peace. Ooh. Good luck. Oh yeah.